Yeah, I just got a friend request from a Bob Stone. He's Robbie Weirdicht. He changed his name to Bob Stone. You remember Robbie Weirdicht from high school?
No.
Yeah, it was the guy who got beat up by Trish DeMarco at homecoming.
No.
Yeah, I mean, come on. The guy that tried singing Coolio's 1, 2, 3, 4 lost his way midway through and then just stood there kind of bobbing his head and mouthing words.
No.
Hey, he was the guy that got thrown out butt-ass naked at the senior assembly.
Oh, yes. Why didn't you start with that? Oh, man. I've been looking forward to doing this one. I don't know what's taken us so long, but, watching it 2 times in a row, I realized how funny it was. But
yeah, it's such a great movie. I mean, was this their first time acting together, Kevin Hart and The Rock?
No, they did Jumanji.
But I think this was before Jumanji.
Is it?
I think so.
Because there were 2 Jumanjis.
Yeah, but I think the first one still came out after this. Well, anyway, if people haven't guessed yet, we're doing a Central Intelligence.
Yeah, and
agency.
I mean, I've got to give it to them. Like Kevin Hart and The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and his Johnson, they make a great pair.
They do.
You've probably seen them on social media doing stuff together, and they're always just like messing with one another, and it's just always great for comedy, honestly. Yeah,
so you have Dwayne Johnson, who plays Robbie Weirdicht in this movie, who, it starts off, he's, a fat kid. And you could tell that he's kind of like the loner in high school, that, no one's his friend or anything like that. But I guess he always lived under the illusion that, Calvin Joyner, who is played by Kevin Hart, like, since he was nice to him, was, oh, well, we're friends. Or, however he saw it.
That was the only interaction that they ever had in high school. And that's just something that Robbie held on to for the 20 years.
He held on to that moment and his Letterman jacket.
Yeah. Which he usually sleeps in, but yep. I mean, it's clean now. So
Golden Jet.
What is your favorite movie? Let's just get that one out right now. What's your favorite scene from the movie?
I mean, God, there are so many, but one of the parts that I laugh hysterically and uncontrollably over is the scene when they're at the high school, Calvin and Robbie, and they're walking through the hallways, and they were talking about when he got thrown out naked in front of the senior assembly, and he was like, I haven't been naked, since then. He was like, well, at least not in front of anyone. He was like, what? So when you have sex, it's like,
yeah, what about during sex?
He was like, oh no. He's like, I turn all the lights off. I keep it pitch black like Vin Diesel.
And if you watch that scene, it looks like a genuine Kevin Hart laugh.
It does. His laugh is.
He wasn't expecting it, but they kept it in the movie because it was such a genuine response to it. And,
right.
I mean, it seems like something that would have actually happened.
Yes. And there is a special lady that I tell. I think the other scene that I love, and I was telling you, is just the scene when they're in the plane and it starts to go down. He's like, we're completely out of gas. He was like, what's the one thing you regret in life? And he was like, stealing a plane where someone at least would check the fuel levels. Yeah. It's like, why would you steal a plane if there's no gas?
Yeah. Getting on a plane with an idiot who doesn't check the gas level.
But then he was like, no, something real, something tangible. And he was like, not being a father. He was like, oh, Maggie, I should have gave you a kid. He was like, why? And he's like, I should have gave you my seed.
And I don't think it gets any funnier than when Kevin Hart is upset about something.
Yeah.
He's freaking out. It's just so funny. So for me, the funniest scene, in my opinion, is Robbie stays the night at his house. He crashes there. Basically, he's using him to get information, getting some intel that's important to actually stop a national, international disaster from occurring.
You got to save the free world.
And so CIA shows up the following morning, and Robbie just somehow miraculously puts the entire living room together and leaves
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to anybody involved. And then so CIA sees, okay, well, the purpose fled or whatever. So they're discussing like what the next steps are. Like we need to get this, taken care of and everything. But the way that Kevin Hart is responding this entire time, it's like, hello. He's like the three agents are like talking amongst each other. And hello.
And then Harris turns around. And she's like, yes. How can I help you? He's like,
yeah, this is my house. Like, what is going on here? But she's trying to get information, and the exchange between the two of them is so funny because she's so rigid. And, it's the actress that plays Holly Flax in The Office, which...
Amy Ryan, I think is her name.
Totally different character for her.
Yes.
But she does a great job with this one, to be honest. Everything that Kevin Hart, I should say Calvin, says, she comes back, like, just...
Yeah,
with the quickness, and she's like, "Whoa, you got to stop doing that." And it's like you can't just come at me like you got to give me.
I
don't
a second. Even know him. And he's like, "Well, why was he sleeping on your couch?" He's like, "Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't time out. I'm hitting the timeout button."
He's like, "You know what? First of all, we're gonna backtrack." And it's like, this is all Facebook's fault.
Yeah. Do you know about Facebook?
Yeah. We surveil it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got a friend request on Facebook. From Bob Stone, and you accepted it? No, don't do that. Don't stop. So, but the moment that really gets to me is, are you nervous? He's like, no, I'm not nervous. Is it hot in here? But he immediately, is it hot in here? And then he goes to start taking his jacket. No, I'm going to leave my jacket on because if I take my jacket off, I'm going to look guilty. And that's what you guys do. That's what you look for, right? Right? And so he like awkwardly leans on the kitchen counter, and he's like, Look how comfortable I am right now. Do I look guilty? Look. And then he gets up. I don't remember what the question was, but she's like, this is too much now. He's like, you need to get out of here. I got to take a shit. She's like, you need to go. This is just a lot right now. And he's like, go. And then he turns
you got to
over.
Give me a few minutes.
He's like, turns her over and leans on the counter. He's like, Jesus Christ. And I'm not doing the scene justice, but that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie right there.
I like that. I mean, because taking a shit or something, it comes up a few different times in the movie. Like, that's one scene. Then there's the other scene where there's the big shootout in Calvin's office, and Bob has Calvin in like the mail sorter carrier cart.
Yeah. And
he's running around, but he was like, all right, Jet, I got this really cool plan. We're probably both going to die, but if we don't, it'll be a really cool boss. Or he was like, it'll be a really boss story. Cool.
No, it's not cool.
Cool.
That happens multiple times in the movie.
But then when they run and he just starts shooting at a window and they throw themselves out the window and they fall 30 stories.
Onto that inflatable
gorilla. But he was like, oh, Jet, you okay? And he was like, oh, did you poop your pants? He was like, it's okay, man. I don't judge. But then later when they pick him up, when Harris and her two agents pick Calvin up.
Yeah, they're trying to use Calvin to track where Bob
Harris
is.
tells him, she was like, I believe you. I know a scared shitless civilian when I see one. He was like, yep, that's right. No shit in here. He's like, if I just sit down, it's just going to be farts and air. He said,
that sounds like a laser.
It's like, see, laser sounds.
Which makes no sense. But you find out why his name is Golden Jet. I mean, because this is
and that's
borderline obsessive.
That's in the like the extended version. Like we watched the extended. I told you, like last night I watched the DVD, and there was a ton of things in the extended version where I'm like, well, that's why I said, I was like, well, we're gonna have to watch this because you're probably gonna have information that I'm not privy to.
Yeah, and that's why I think the air freshener went off 4 times during the viewing of this extended edition.
33 minutes, my ass.
Right? This is bullshit. But he's basically borderline obsessed with Calvin. I mean, it's not borderline. It's like full on. Like,
this is a full on obsession.
He named Calvin his emergency contact. And he hasn't spoken to Calvin in 20 years.
Right.
You know, since this incident in high school.
Well, why did he put you down as emergency contact? He's like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. See, that's crazy right there. No, we just went out for drinks last night. Oh, you went out for drinks with your non-friend?
Okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, he crashed here last night. He's like, oh.
So you just let him sleep over? And he's like, see, you know what? It's like, I'm going to back this up.
Yes, let's back this freight train. She's getting out of control. But this carries on through the entire movie. He's like, any moment that Bob has to compliment Calvin, he takes advantage.
Right.
Like, full on.
I think another thing that's, it's like not a premise, but an ongoing joke in the entire movie. So it's like what you just said when when they see Bob passed out on Calvin's couch and there's pizza boxes, there's Chinese takeout, there's like 30 cans of Mountain Dew, boxes of donuts, ding dongs, zing zangs, and zippy zaps, like a whole bunch of just food everywhere.
Like, what the hell happened here?
And 16 Candles is playing on the TV because
there's a John Hughes marathon.
Yeah, well, but that's Bob Stone's, like, that's his favorite all-time movie.
Yeah, but he realized early on he will never be like Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, I love that line. But when the agents show up and they're like, have you had contact with this man? And they show him a picture of Bob Stone. He was like, yeah, he's actually asleep on my couch. But then when he comes in, I mean, the living room's put together. There's no trash. There's the TV off, and Bob is just gone. And then later, when he's at his office and Bob calls him, and he's like, "It's Bob, it's Bob, it's Bob."
The way that he talks to him during that call is hysterical.
Like, hey there, Bobby-o. He's like, well, how you doing? He's like, are you quite well?
It sounds so funny coming from Kevin.
And he was like,
are you quite well?
And he's like, no, I'm in trouble, man. He was like, can you meet me? Can we talk? And he was like, yeah. What, yeah, I can meet you. Where are you? And he's like, oh, I'm in the he's like, I'm in your building in the stairwell, two floors down. So they take off. He goes out of his office, and she's like, go back into your office and wait till we get back. And then he was like, okay. And he's looking at her, he's like, you heard what she said? We all know what to do. And he turns around and runs back in. But when he shuts the door, Bob's behind the door. So this, like, disappearing and reappearing.
He does this multiple times.
It's an ongoing thing in the entire movie.
So he's really good at his job, but it makes it hard to believe that somebody who's that good at what he does is so socially awkward.
I know.
And it's just because he never had any friends. You know, he made it a point to get in really good shape, and he only did one thing, and that's go to the gym for 6 hours a day for 20 years.
Yep, I went to the gym.
Anybody could do that, right?
Yep.
I do like the scene in the bar, though, where CJ meets up with Bob and meets him for the first time. Yeah, and they sit down at the table, and Bob's wearing a hoodie, and he takes his hoodie off, and he's wearing this, like, super tight, like, unicorn T-shirt.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
Calvin looks up and he's like, nice unicorn, man. He's like, I'm big time into corns, man. He's like, they're so magical, right?
Yep.
He's like, yeah, they're actually the most lethal animal on the planet. It's like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
But I love the bartendress that comes over.
Lexi.
Yeah, and she's like, hi, I'm Lexi. And she's
completely infatuated with Bob.
Yeah, and she, oh my God, wow, that's so cute. Like, wow. And then he was like, hey, get you something? He's like, no, I think we're just like, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm not talking to you.
No, she's like, do you ever Snapchat or anything? And that's when Calvin chimes in. He's like, actually, no, we don't. I'm not talking to you. Like, she's so rude to him for no reason. just because she likes Bob.
Yep.
It's like, I'm super into unicorns too.
Yeah, she's like, I think they're really cute also. But then after the bar fight, which is funny, I mean, I really wish I could remember that entire dialogue. Because the one guy just takes Bob's chair, and Calvin's like, whoa. He's like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, someone's sitting there. And he was like, yeah, you move your meat, you lose your seat.
Bro.
He's like, is this going to get physical?
His hoodie is sitting right on there. He's like, clearly somebody's still sitting there, man.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, you and I talked about this. Like, I mean, grown people don't act like this.
No.
I mean, like, 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is if someone walks by and grabs a chair. Well, honestly, if someone walks by, they would probably touch a chair and then look at whoever's sitting there and be like, is anyone sitting here?
That's the polite thing to do, yes.
Not just grab a chair and just start moving stuff.
Yeah, so, and Kevin even said, or I'm sorry, Calvin, he actually says what we would all be thinking in this moment. Like, you don't got to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
He's like, are you really going to go there, bro?
Because if you want to go there, bro, we can go there, bro. There's only one way out of there, bro. And it's through an intensive care, bro.
Is that it? Any more bros? Are you done here? Is that supposed to be funny?
Bro. But no, then Bob comes up, and I really wish I could remember his entire speech, because he says, the way he words it is so funny. But the guy's like, why don't you and your boyfriend just go out in the parking lot and jerk each other off? And he was like, and Calvin's like, whoa. And he was like, yeah, I know, CJ. Wow, a whole lot of homophobia going on right here. But then he goes on to say, he was like, my friend here tried to be nice. You were being rude, and I just want you to apologize. But now I can see you escalated the situation by bringing what I can only guess is an unregistered firearm into this fine establishment, putting all these innocent people at risk. So I cannot, in good conscience, go out in the parking lot and jerk anybody
off. Yeah. You pretty much nailed it. Yeah.
Oh, thank God that's... blacked out there for a minute.
Yeah. That's how you debate.
I feel like Frank the Tank.
You look like Frank the Tank for a second. Yeah, no, that was a really great scene. Basically Bob is trying to not use Calvin. He just knows that Calvin has certain skills that can actually benefit this whole thing that's going on. Behind the scenes, there's this international auction where they're trying to get satellite codes. And
because someone has stolen all the satellite codes for the United States. So basically it's like World War III or Armageddon or something's about to happen, and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, and then you got Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad, who plays his former partner.
Yeah.
And
Phil.
The whole time you just find out that he was murdered and Bob is being framed for it, which is the only reason like all the agents are looking for him. Like they're after him because they think that he now has those satellite codes.
I love the way, because it shows the his partner's murder through a few different eyes.
Right.
So when Bob tells it, I think is by far the funniest, because they're on the elevator and he gets off and he's like, hey, Phil. He's like, yeah, Bob. He's like, see you on the other side. And he's like, yeah, see you on the other side. And then he walks away and he's like, God, I love that guy.
Yeah. Which couldn't be further from what actually happened. And then you see it from Phil's eyes later on.
Well, you see it from Harris's eyes when she's telling the story and he's trying to open the elevator and, Bob's just standing there like, bye.
Oh, yeah, that's
true. She like blows him up. And then when you see it from Phil's eyes, he's just sitting there and he was like, hey, Phil.
Which is probably what actually happened.
See you on the other side. And Phil's like, oh, God, no.
I really hope
please,
not.
I hope not. But then he was like, yeah, I just put a blood bag in there. And he was just like, Bob. And he was like, yeah, no, there's some kind of bomb in here. I guess I'm going to. He was like, no, I think you're pushing the door closed. And he was like, no, yeah, I'll see you later, Bob.
He's like, no, faking my own death was easy.
Yeah.
Listening to Bob day after day droning on for hours on end, talking about Calvin J. Harris or whatever, or Calvin Joyner.
The Calvin the Golden Jet Joyner.
He's like, that was hard. He's like, the guy would not shut up about you. And I'm looking at you right now, and you don't really seem that cool. You don't seem cool to me. You look like a regular guy. Just an average Joe.
See, and you and I were talking about how the extended version was different, because I watched, just the plain DVD version last night.
The regular ass version.
Yeah.
Version. That's stupid.
Not anymore. But the scene when Phil comes out, because everyone this whole time thinks that Phil's dead, and they're talking about the Black Badger. So when Phil finally reveals himself at the meet where, they're doing the handoff, he was like, Bob's like, I got the satellite codes right here. And then Phil comes out and he was like, Oh, no, you don't want to do that. He was like, I'm really the Black Badger, and these are the real satellite codes. But he was like, Phil, you're supposed to be dead. And he was sitting there talking to him, but when on the regular DVD version, he was, Bob tells Phil, he was like, when this is all done, I'm going to rip your throat out just like Patrick Swayze did that guy in Roadhouse. And he was like, oh my God, Roadhouse. He was like, shut up about these old movie references. He's like, Roadhouse sucked then, it sucked now. The only thing worse than Roadhouse is 16 Candles. And that's when Bob looks at me, he's like, how dare you? But in the extended version, he doesn't mention anything about 16 Candles. He's like, God, Roadhouse, it sucked then, it sucks now. And fuck Patrick Swayze. And it's like, what the fuck did Patrick Swayze ever do?
I know, right?
I mean, come on. The guy was a national treasure.
Exactly. Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah, so, I mean, but it's pretty cool to see, like different versions, extended versions and things like that to where you see exactly how different they are. Because like I said, I mean, I just watched it 12 hours ago. And then when I got here this morning and I came in, it was kind of right at that scene. And I'm like, wait a minute. He didn't say that. That's not how it went down when I was watching it.
But it did. There is I like when they do this in movies. During the opening scene, or the opening credits, when they're playing like an older song, it's almost like you automatically know that they're doing like a flashback.
Yeah.
So they're playing Never Gonna Get It by En Vogue.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie. So it's like, that they're going to show something that happened like during that time frame. And their graduation ceremony was supposed to be 1996, whereas that song actually came out earlier than that. I want to say closer to like 92. Maybe 93, because I remember watching
92, 93.
Because I still lived in California back then.
I had a little fireman time to that video.
Oh, didn't we all? But it shows Robbie, pre-Bob Stone, Robbie Weirdicht, and for some reason during first period he always takes a shower.
Why doesn't he just shower at home?
Like a normal person.
And then anything about Trevor, that look normal to you?
That's what Trevor says. Yeah, does anything about that look normal to you? And then you see the one guy like standing to the side, and he's like, he's actually a pretty good dancer.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I got some pretty good dance moves.
But Trevor's like, what? And the guy's like, and we actually had to turn on the captions because we didn't. I mean, you know how we like to do that. But, yeah. We didn't know what he said. It sounded like he said something.
It sounded like he said, I want to fuck that weird little guy.
Something weird
That's
like
exactly what it sounded like, but he, in essence, said, I mean, fuck that weird guy.
He's like, man, that guy's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I think, something along those lines. It was
weird. I mean, the way it sounded, though, was like...
Because he kind of says it under his breath a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it leads to the whole group of guys carrying him into the pep rally.
Right.
Basically, the last rally that they have for senior year. So they throw him into the gym, butt naked.
Oh, God, and the principal, when he walks over, and then, Calvin gives him his Letterman jacket to cover himself up, and he's like, just mouths, thank you, and then runs off. But then the principal walks up and he's like, well, there's no coming back from that. Calvin Joyner, everybody.
That's basically it, yeah. It's true. I mean, but even, at the beginning when the principal announces Calvin, because he's like student of the year, he's some kind of honor that he was awarded. Yeah. He's like the most popular guy in high school, which is why he got prom king.
And voted most likely to succeed.
That too. And, if they saw him now, they'd be like, he's like, I'm an accountant. He's like, and I don't want to go to this high school reunion.
Like,
and
hey,
just
Calvin,
answer
what
are you doing now?
It's
what
like,
are you doing now?
I'm an accountant. He's like, what? An accountant? He's like, man, I thought you'd be governor by now.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm an accountant. So it's like, this is why I peaked in high school. See, this is where I was in high school, and now it's like, pew, pew. I don't know what sound it makes, but this is what happened to me now.
And he was like, yeah, and then, my life's down here. But then his wife, like any wife in the world, would be like, wow, I really didn't realize that your life with me was so incredibly bad. Just like, pew. That's the noise. That's what the sound is.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make it about you. But yeah, notoriously.
But that, and then I guess another ongoing theme in this movie is Calvin. Calvin's nervousness is probably what sets this entire movie off as being so incredibly hysterically funny. Like the, when they're going to the meet and he was like, he's like, why would you do all this out in the open like this? And he's looking around and he was like, it's not happening up here. He's like, look, an underground parking garage. He was like, yeah, it's happening below us. And he was like, hey, good call, Jet. He's like, good eyes. It's like, yeah. He goes, I'll go down. You stay up here. Have Overwatch. And then he's sitting there and he was like, what? He's like, no. He goes, I ain't got no bulletproof vest. I ain't got no gun. He was like, what's going to happen? He was like, when people split up, he's like, someone dies. And it's going to be me. He's like, how do I call for help? He's like, what do I make a bird sound like? Caw, caw. It's like, cock-a-doodle-doo. And he was like,
I don't know how to make bird sounds.
It was like, that's my one weakness. I never could.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna die because when I need to call you, I'm gonna make a pigeon sound. It's like, see, I don't know what the pigeon sounds like.
Pigeon. And he was like, Jet, just relax. He was like, just call me on the encrypted phone
that's in your hand.
He was like, oh, yeah.
This is a gigantic brick of a phone.
How you forget something that size is in your hand? I'll never know.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
It was just nice. It was actually a regular size phone. It just looked really huge in Kevin Hart's hand,
It was an iPhone 1.
There's a couple like memorable moments that stand out. So like the whole time where Calvin's at his office and you have the whole shootout scene and there's multiple times where Bob is saying to him, so it's like, you in or you out?
Yeah.
And
he's like,
I am definitely not in. Okay, so you're in. So it's like he's constantly mincing words, you know, he's just assuming, well, the only way out is to get in. But he's trying to get Calvin to take his tie off and he refuses. He's like, no, you can't have my tie. And then he just starts taking it off and he's like fighting him. He's like judo chopping his arms, which does nothing. Yeah. Eventually he gets the tie off and then he just gets flustered.
He's like, fine, take the tie.
But he's like trying to fix his collar and it's just his body language during these scenes is so spot on and it's so freaking funny. But Bob wanted the tie so he could light it on fire. So at the right moment, the sprinkler system would go off.
Right.
Which allows them to bust through that window onto the gorilla and everything like that. The other scene is when he plays the therapist because Maggie's never met Bob before.
Oh, yeah. Which is kind of weird because I would just assume that Maggie would have left before Calvin that morning. Because, I mean, I'm sure that she would have heard all the commotion from all these agents running in. So it's like when she left, did she not even bother to like... I mean, she would have seen the living room from the kitchen. So it's like, I guess... Yeah, so I guess she like wouldn't have seen some
gigantic dude,
6'5", 290-pound man just laying on her fold-out bed. Like, what?
Like,
who the hell's this?
Oh, you're sleeping with your fanny pack?
Yeah.
Yep. It's my baby.
Fanny. Gay.
And I brought this up after watching the movie again. Is like, I wonder if he made that choice to use the fanny pack in this movie as kind of like a nod to, there's that picture that's gone around. If you haven't seen it, you just got to Google it.
Oh, these people have seen it.
Just type in The Rock and fanny pack. And there's this old, like, it's like a black and white photo, isn't it?
Yeah. And Kevin Hart actually, I think, even made fun of that.
Yeah, he's wearing like a black turtleneck with a chain and a black leather fanny pack around his waist, and he's just like posing like he thinks it's the coolest thing. Like this is his headshot that he used to get in a movie.
The Rock actually said, well, it was from when he was wrestling. But The Rock actually said that the turtleneck, I don't think was his. I think it was on loan from someone, like some department store or something, for him to be able to do that photo shoot or whatever. So he pointed out, he was like, if you look really close, the wall that he has his elbow up on, there's a napkin underneath the elbow so the fabric wouldn't get caught on the gravel of it.
I think I did hear about that. That is funny. And you know what? It kind of makes me wonder because, like, I don't remember fanny packs being popular with, I guess, popular people. You know what I mean? Like, I remember fanny packs being worn by, like, middle-aged women or uncool dads.
Well, I think it was probably different in Florida because, well, everybody's old in Florida. So,
there's a lot of old people there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw a lot of fanny packs. So it was just kind of, I mean, I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
I think I had one at one point.
It could have been a regional thing.
Yeah, I think I had one at one point. I mean, nothing.
Lame.
Well, I mean, nothing as nice as his.
Clearly.
Yeah, mine was like...
I mean, that's like the Cadillac of fanny bags.
Mine was probably, I don't know, like hot pink or something and had some like weird...
Unicorn on it, maybe?
No, I would have been lucky to have a unicorn.
My little pony.
Probably had like a yellow triangle on it that just read like rad.
No, it was probably a bunny.
What's a bunny?
What's a fanny pack? Can it eat us? No, it can ruin your fucking life, though.
Still, I can't wait to do Deadpool 2. Now, talking about fanny packs, he's like, I have to retrieve something from my utility bag. And he's like, it's a goddamn fanny pack. The difference is night and day.
It really is. So there's the scene where Bob is playing the therapist. And it's funny because they do the word association.
Yeah.
And Maggie just aces it, because he's like...
He was like, I'll just throw out some words out here. And he was like,
you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind or whatever.
Black.
White.
Water.
Ocean.
Sunshine.
Happy.
Wow, that's very good. You're very in tune. I was like, huh. He's like, all right, Calvin, you ready? And he's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not. And he was like, oh, relax, Calvin. He was like, there's no wrong answers here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, then he says, up.
Down. What? What is What is that? What does that mean?
Just starts writing.
What does that mean? But the outtakes from this scene.
Yes, the outtakes are hysterical.
Because Bob is like, all right, so we're going to do a role playing. So you're going to play Calvin and I'll be Maggie.
I like Maggie. I like Maggie right away. She's like, oh.
Yeah, she's like, I'm intrigued. I like where this is going.
He's like, just stare into my eyes.
Yeah, because it cuts to them sitting right next to each other with their faces maybe a foot apart.
It's like, this is called soul gazing. He's like, you're just going to stare into my soul. Don't say anything. Just shh.
Calvin keeps interrupting. He's like, man, I don't want to do this. And like, hey. Bob keeps slapping him.
Yeah, he's like, hey, just right here. No words. And he's like, I know it's... It's like, no, come on, right here. So, but he slaps him like a third or fourth time. But then Calvin finally had enough.
Tags him back.
So he smacks Bob, and he's like, you hit your wife. He's like, you hit me. You hit your wife, and he was like, he hit you, and she was like, you hit us.
It's like, what is happening here? But the outtakes of that is hysterical because Kevin can't stop laughing. Like The Rock hits him, and he immediately just loses it. And then they try it again, and then he'll slap The Rock back.
I like that you hear...
They both start laughing.
I mean, I like that you hear, I guess, what would be the director in the back. He was like, okay, for real this time. And they're like, oh, yeah, for real this time.
Yeah.
Come on, we're professionals.
We're very professional. You're fired. Beep, bop, boop. I'm trying to think. What were the other... So when Bob's being interrogated, and then you got Harris in there.
Yeah.
And, Bob is handcuffed to the table.
Right.
And she gets up like, where are the files or whatever?
Yeah, and he's like,
the codes?
Okay,
where
Pam.
are the codes? And she just comes up and starts tickling him. And it's funny because when she does that, like his hands come right out of the cuffs.
Which I can't imagine a big guy like The Rock being ticklish.
No, I think it looked like he was faking it.
I like the when Calvin in the outtakes when Calvin and Bob are talking and he was like, come on, man. He was like, you're not Robbie Weirdicht. You're Bob Stone. He's like, no, Bob Stone's just a name I made up. And he was like, so? He was like, man, Mr. T, Sting, The Rock. He was like, those are just dumbass nicknames made up by dumbass people.
Which is funny because that's not what he says in the movie.
No.
He does say Mr. T and Sting.
Yes.
He's like, these are just made up names.
Yeah. He was like, do you think they were born with those names? He was like, no. So, and then, what's another? I mean, I think the dynamic with Trevor throughout this, I mean, I don't think that they could have gotten a better person to play an adult Trevor.
He is like, oh, yeah, you're right.
I think Jason Bateman was the perfect choice to have as an adult Trevor.
And I don't like Bateman playing a bad guy, but that actually did a pretty good job with it.
Oh, he did phenomenal with it. He was so hysterical. Even when he's just sitting there talking, he was, I mean, because at first he just kind of seems genuine. Like he sees, Bob or Robbie Weirdicht after 20 years, and he was like, wow. He's like, man, talk about a caterpillar to butterfly type of situation. He's like, what is this, P90X? More like P1,000,000X. It's like, wow, I can't believe it. But then he's like, oh, yeah, and he goes on this long, elaborate story, and he was like, a couple years ago, I found our Lord Jesus, the Almighty. He was like, I can't believe it. He was like, I think it put you here today for this. And he was like, I just really, truly want to apologize for everything that happened. And if you could just forgive me. And he's like, wow, I just wasn't expecting this. And he was like, I know. So it's even like then you're just kind of like, what a dick. Mm-hmm. Like, what an asshole. So
you had to see this coming.
Yeah. So then he was just like, I don't know what to say. And he was like, how about you just say that the Oscar goes to Trevor Olsen. And then starts laughing. And he was like, oh, please. He was like, yeah, right. He was like I found the God Almighty. He's like, I'm a Scientologist. Like in B. And he was like, yeah, no, once a fat kid, always a fat kid. So when Bob goes to stand up, he's like, oh, look at that. She's getting up. He was like, oh, do you need something? You have to go poopies? Huh? Is that what you got to change your brag? Huh?
What does he say? He says something as he flexes his arm. He says like atheist or something.
No, he said he's been thetan free.
Thetan.
Yeah. He's like thetan 3 since 2003. He's like, clean living, baby.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, like theology.
Oh,
the study of the Lord.
Oh, okay.
Our Savior.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Man.
Come on, you got to do your research before we get into these hard-hitting, award-winning podcasts.
Hey, no, I'm a master winger, man. It's not the only thing I'm a master at, just saying. But I like how Bob looks at his reflection, and he's seeing the fat version of himself, but wearing this tight-ass yellow shirt with camo pants, which... how does that ever work? I'm thinking of that scene after they left the bar, after meeting for the first time, and Calvin makes that comment about, you're like a giant something with jorts.
Oh, no, that's when they were walking, and he was like, man, you did that whole thing? He was like, and you said that when you were like, oh, I don't like bullies. And he was like, that's not a good line, but it was.
Yeah.
And then he was like, man, and then you did the thing where you hit the guy in the throat, you're like, and he was like, ah.
And he couldn't breathe there for a second.
And he just fell, and then all of a sudden he was like, man, you're like Jason Bourne in jorts.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm sorry I ruined your night, man.
He's like, what are you talking about? This is the best night of my life.
Really?
He's like, yeah, to see my boy whipping some ass in there.
And then that's where he shows him his bike.
Well, I like it when he tells him, he's like, yeah, man, my boy whipped ass in there. And he was like, we're boys? And he was like, yeah, yeah, we're boys.
And Bob reads into everything.
Right.
Way too much. And it's like he focuses on the things that he feels like is special to him.
Yeah.
And because he never had a friend, he's to this day he doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
He's like, that's a special moment to him. It's like, we boys? I mean, it's like, Calvin was just saying it.
Yeah,
in passing.
okay.
Sure, why not?
Sure. Okay, Gipper.
I knew it. I'm trying to think of some other funny moments.
I think one of the funniest kind of overlooked lines in this, and you know how much I love overlooked lines, is Lexi, the bartendress, after he kicks all those guys' asses, and he's like, all right, come on, Jet, let's get out of here. And then she's like walking, she's like, oh my God, I hope he's Catholic. I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's an overlooked line, but I love it.
Yeah, no, that was good. And we can't not mention Calvin's coworker, the douche.
I can't remember his name. I always wanted to say Trevor, but I think it's like Travis.
No, Trevor is Jason
Yeah, Trevor's
Bateman's.
Jason Bateman's, but I mean, I guess he's Travis then.
I don't know what his character's name, what his name is, but their first interaction when Calvin gets to the office and he's
like,
just
dude,
in his
check
face.
it out.
Yeah, and he shows him a picture of his dick on his phone. He's like,
I don't want to see that.
No, it's my dick.
No, it's my dick.
No, I know what it is. Why would I want to see that?
I don't want to see it.
He's like, no, I've been working on this this app. You know, it's kind of like Instagram. He's like, but it's like dick pics or whatever like that. But it takes your junk and it makes it like 4 to 6 inches like bigger than it actually is. and Calvin's like, that's just sexting. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, what are you like? Living in a monastery or something.
I like that he turns around. He's like, hang on one second. And then you just hear this camera like click, 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 click.
Yeah, it just goes to take another one. He's like, you just sent another one. But this is when they find out, like, one of the guys at their office just got, like, he's the youngest senior executive.
Because he tells him, he was like, he's like, what are you upset about Ethan getting the promotion instead of you? And he's like, what? Ethan got promoted? And he's like, yeah. Youngest senior VP ever in the firm's history. And he was like, hey, didn't that guy used to be your assistant?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we're going to go to lunch. You should come. He's like, give you some opportunity to kiss the ring, so to speak.
Yeah, and he's like, what? And he was like, nah, I can't. I'm going with my wife. And he was like, you know that I'm going to be French kissing that ring. I'm going to be like,
He's like, but lunch is going to be lit. It's going to be hyphy. It's going to be hyphy.
Yeah,
like,
I don't understand that term.
I don't get that reference either.
I don't.
That'll be our poll question.
All right, what is hyphy?
The fuck is hyphy?
Yeah, what is hyphy?
I'm going to phrase it like that. What the fuck is hyphy? I don't even know how to spell it.
Neither do I. Because it wasn't in the. It wasn't in. We had already turned on the subtitles, and it wasn't in the subtitles.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it just says singing, that he was singing, which makes no sense.
Stupid.
The other,
like when he gets zapped.
That is one of the best parts.
Yeah,
right
when he goes
there.
up to Agent Harrison, he's like, "What is this? Like a stripper game for Ethan?" He's like trying to suck up to the boss, and he was like, "Show us your tits." Show us your tits. Show us the tits.
And Harris just tases him.
Yeah, she just tases him. He's like,
He gets tased twice.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like after the shootout and everything, they're going to leave. Bob and Calvin have already gone out the window, and then he comes up like he's going to get in Harris's face like, hey, who do you think you are? And he was like, hey, you got it. And she's like, psh, and he's like,
Hey. I do like the Facebook scene because Calvin is at work, and I don't know why he's on Facebook at work, on his computer no less. Like, who's using Facebook on their computer? That in itself.
See, that's
is weird.
that's why I want to say like that's what makes this movie old, because that's how everybody used to do like Facebook.
Well, I remember, originally,
Yeah, it was all on the computer.
But out of nowhere, he gets that friend invite.
Yeah.
And then he hovers over it to see like what it was.
Stone.
And it says Bob Stone. He's like,
Who the hell is Bob Stone?
I don't know. And then as soon as he clicks accept, the phone rings and he gets freaked out. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? I didn't know Facebook worked like that.
Yeah. And then he picks up. He's like, hello? And it's his wife. And she was like, hey, babe. And he was like, girl, you just scared the shit out of me. She's like, I did? How? And he's like, oh, nothing. I was just doing this. You know, this
with the thing, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So, man, I want to apologize about lunch.
She's like, no, that's actually why I called you. You know, I really think we need to see someone. He's like, the way he responds to that is funny, because he's like, see who? What do you mean? See who? What do you mean?
She's like, like a therapist. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Which, if you don't know what that is,
yes.
It's Hot Ones, but the episode with Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say. Yep. Just look it up on YouTube.
Yep.
You'll thank me later. But when Bob starts messaging Calvin, it's like, what's up, house emoji, pizza emoji. And then all this other shit with random like unicorns and like rainbows and like all this random shit. It's like, hey, let's go out tonight. Let's get lit.
Well, I like that he has the like he types in. He was like, "What's up?" And he was like,
"Remember those commercials?" And then he sends him that commercial.
Yeah,
and it's like just playing automatically. He doesn't have to click on anything. And then he sends him a link to this really raunchy video,
rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah, and then that's when the people are coming back from lunch or whatever, and they walk by Calvin's office, and Calvin immediately pulls his computer monitor down.
Yeah,
but you can still hear what's playing on it.
And then Ethan's just like, that's not really work appropriate. And then Travis
not
just
cool.
Said, not cool, man.
Not cool.
Not cool. But as they walk away, he turns around and comes back. He's like, hey, forward that to me.
Yeah. And what's funny is it starts playing right before he hangs up with his wife.
Yeah.
And she hears Me So Horny playing in the background. And she's like, immediately, like, what the hell is going on? Couple other like honorable mentions, I guess, is when they're talking about how Bob used the banana during the initial shootout scene in Calvin's office.
Well, I like Calvin during that whole thing because, like, at first Bob grabs a coffee pot and he's like, look how he's got a coffee pot.
Yeah.
And he beats someone up with that, and then like the guy gets the stick out and he's like, yeah, that's right, Agent Man, hit him with the stick. Yeah, but then he grabs the banana out of the little fruit dish and he was like, he's got a banana.
But it is funny because it's like Calvin doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know who to believe.
Yeah, and because everybody's spinning all these great stories.
Yeah,
and the only person that you can really believe would be Bob Stone, because it'd be like, why would he have a reason to lie?
And he's the only one that Calvin has actually known, even though he doesn't know him.
Yeah, but then you have Agent Harris, who's like, you can't believe a word this man says, so you're just kind of like, all right, now she's making a good point.
It's all very convincing.
It is, on all sides.
I don't know, Ron. But when they finally get a chance to leave, they escape in the Uber car that somehow doesn't take any bullet damage after being shot like hundreds of times.
You better get your tuchus in here. You're going to get shot.
They jack the Uber car, and the Uber driver's pissed off. I'm going to give you 0 stars.
See, that wasn't in the DVD.
Really?
So after the Uber drives off, I mean, it just cuts back to Harris and her agent. So you never see the Uber driver like, "Hey, that's my car."
But that's funny because like after that, he's like, "Fuck you." Yeah. I mean, I would have been pissed too, but it's just funny that car doesn't have any visible damage to it whatsoever.
Nah.
But the agent car that's supposedly bulletproof is taking damage visibly, which is crazy. But while they're riding together and Calvin's trying to figure out what the hell is going on, he just got thrown out of a window onto an inflatable gorilla. He's probably just freaked out at this moment. But then he brings up the whole banana thing. He's like, "How you going to use a banana like that?" It's a force multiplier.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, it's a force multiplier. Oh, okay. Yeah, just page 1 of the CIA handbook."
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot for a second that I was never in the fucking CIA. Bob's trying to explain to him. He's like, yeah, anything in your hand is more powerful than your hands by themselves. But it's funny because Calvin actually uses it later on in the movie. Oh, man, I got nothing else, I don't think.
No, I mean, just I think the confidence that Calvin gets, when they break out of the little CIA, a hold house or wherever they had Bob when she was like breaking his fingers. But
he used the banana. Yeah.
Well, he had just had the banana on the floor and hit the guy in the face with the chair. But no, later when Bob is beating up the 2 guys and then Calvin just like does the little throat thing and the guy falls and he's like, I did it. I did the throat thing. He was like, I was like, and he's like, ah. He's like, all right. He's like, come on, follow me. And he was like, no, what the fuck am I doing? He's like, here, take this gun. I'm gonna get behind. You're bigger, so you go first.
Yeah, which kind of ties to the other scene where it's like, you're the one with the bulletproof jacket on.
Yeah.
You're the one with the gun. Yeah. He's like, you're basically my bulletproof vest right here, so I got to stay behind you.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, this is such a such a good movie. I mean, funny to watch, funny to do.
Yeah, and I mean, you just can't beat the chemistry between the two of them. And I don't know if it's just because they're such good friends and you can kind of tell, or if it's because of the size difference. I think that makes something.
It's both.
It both.
It's both.
But check it out if you haven't seen Central Intelligence. It's I don't know if it's free streaming anywhere.
I could not find it anywhere.
So you'll probably have to pay for it. But worth it.
Yep.
Totally.
Totes my goats.
All right. Well, I guess with that being said, it's another great episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Quotable Podcast.
Catch you on the next side.
What?
#blessed.